Do you think it's hard, even as good as you are, as good as Jaylen is, as good as Marcus Smart is, do you think it's hard to maintain a consistency of results without continuity in the ancillary pieces?
Yeah, I do. And I think each year is very unique in itself. Our chemistry was the best I've had my first year. But if I'm being honest, like, even if we would have beaten LeBron in Game 7, like, we weren't gonna beat Golden State. I think my second and third year are two of them. Year 5 are my two most frustrating seasons looking back. Year 2, we were the most talented team in the NBA, and I believe that, obviously, even with Golden State. I think we split with them 1-1 that year because we only played them twice. And that was the year that KD got hurt and Klay Thompson got hurt, and the Raptors went to the championship. And it's like, obviously they had Kawhi, and he played amazing, but like, for whatever reason, that bothers me that we couldn't figure it out, because I know we had more than enough talent. And then the bubble year, my third year, when we lost to the Heat, we were winning every game. We lost in overtime in Game 1. We was up 14, I think, in the third quarter of Game 2. We win Game 3. We gave up a lead in Game 4. And in Game 6, we kind of ran out of gas. But, like, I think you have to, like, when you're in those moments, when you are that close, you really have to hone in of, like, you got to, like, think, like, this may be my last chance. And I think, I was 21 at the time. And I remember when we lost, I was pissed because I felt like, we could have and should have beat them. But the Heat were a really good team. But there was a part of me that was like, I got 15 more years. And it's like, I've blinked and it's year 5. And it's like, this should go a little faster than I thought.
Yeah. I was going to ask you one other thing about the rookie season. The LeBron dunk in Game 7. Obviously, everybody watching it at home went crazy like that. Did that feel like obviously at the time you're playing, you're not thinking about the significance of it or anything like that, but did you feel like that game, even though you guys lost, was a big moment for you, or just, losing the frustration was there and you kind of didn't have any thought afterwards except, frustration?
Both. I was fully aware of what
you had just done.
I had just done. Like, right after the game, I remember as soon as the game ended, everybody, especially after the playoffs, you dap each other up, wish you the next, good luck and stuff. And I remember I had talked to Brian for like a minute straight. We were talking, and in that moment, I realized what I had just done, how close we were, and that was kind of the, like, all right, I'm gonna be pretty good for a while. Like, I think the world realized it. LeBron had realized it at that point. I was 20 years old. And I remember, like, obviously being upset. It was Game 7. You want to go to the finals. But, I remember, like, I'm going to be pretty good at this.
I want to follow up on that second year, that 2018-2019 team, because there's a lot of speculation about that season, about that locker room. And you just said, I think, something to the effect of, we couldn't figure out. Why do you think that is? Why could that team never fully gel into what it could have been?
It was a combination of, Kyrie and Gordon coming back. And, they were, obviously we know what Kai's capable of, but, Gordon was coming off an All-Star the year before, and was and still is, a very, very good player. But then you had myself and JB and Terry that, naturally we wanted more. We were young, and, we knew what we just, accomplished and how close we got. We wanted more. We wanted to be, the guys. And everybody was, I think, a little, resistant of, instead of like, no, like we're all playing for the same goal. We're all going to get paid. We're all going to be all-stars or whatever. And I think life would just be better if we all win, like if we win a championship. And I think everybody played a part in that. I know I did for sure. As bad as I wanted to win, I wanted to be, all right, we all knew Kyle was the best player, but I wanted to be number 2. And I take responsibility for, some of those things. But just looking back on it, especially, the Warriors not even being full strength in the championship, of like, you can't help but think like that could have been us.
To your defense, as a 20-year-old who just the previous year had the playoff run you had, I think it's human nature to want more at that age, to think you have this amazing runway, this very, very long runway where this championship window is huge. It's massive. I think that's just human nature. And I don't think that's necessarily a fault. I mean, you can certainly look back now and be like, oh, I would have done something different.
For sure.
It's human nature. When you watch the Hornets play now, though, are you like, fuck, man, I wish we had Terry. He's awesome. I love watching him play.
No, I've always been a fan of T-Row. And I think just the way that the Hornets play, like just how fast and free and how, well they move the ball. They're one of my favorite teams to watch. Those Thursday nights, 7:00 league pass games. I always like watching those guys play.
I'm actually surprised they're not on. They're not on national TV
because
more.
Of LaMelo, they should be.
They should. They're one of the most fun. They're actually in my top 3 league pass teams. Easy.